Well, you saw the title of the video. I dropped out. I dropped out. I dropped out. I dropped out. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I dropped out. I couldn't with school anymore, man. Oh my. Disclaimer before I say anything. I am not encouraging anyone to drop out. You do whatever the fuck you want with your life. Me personally, I couldn't, man. I couldn't anymore. I'm gonna explain this shit in order, right? Little Toasted Tom went to CEGEP, started his first session, and then he went in business and administration. Did not like it. So, the next session, he switched to art, letters, and communication, which was kind of cool, but also kind of fucking boring. So, I was like, yeah, nah, I'm done. I'm actually just done. And like I said in a lot of fucking videos I did, I literally just went to school to see my friends. I made a lot of fucking friends in the only not even two session, like in the first session I was there in CEGEP, I made a whole lot of fucking friends. Goated people, bro, I fucking love them. And I'm not gonna lie to you, even though I could always fucking see them anytime I have a car, so I could just pop out at school and just fucking, see them or hang out with them. It was kind of scary dropping out, because then you're like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I didn't drop out without a plan, because that's just stupid. For those who drops out without a plan, good luck to you. I wish you the best, but for me personally, I couldn't just leave school for absolutely fucking no reason. So I decided that I wanted to go in culinary school. Preferably, I wanted to go in ITHQ because it's a good fucking culinary school. And backup plan, kids, you need backup plans. I signed into MRTM, which is like another school, which is like less wow, but still a good school. But that being said, it's in 6 months. So I was like, okay. I had a little talk with my parents. I was like, yo, I can't with school anymore. I feel like I'm wasting my time. It's literally just a place where I socialize, and apart from that, I wasn't locked in. I didn't study. I didn't really do anything, and that's maybe why I failed 2 classes last semester. But yeah, I had a little talk. I was like, alright, I'm gonna drop out of school. I could have finished my session, but I was like, nah. Literally the idea of going to school every day and redoing the same classes like in fucking gym, because for some fucking reason I failed that class of 5%, and we were literally doing the same fucking shit. So I was like, yeah, no, fuck that. But nah, yeah, I just couldn't bear with school anymore, bro. I might sound like a fucking pussy, but it's like I just didn't see myself wasting 2 years studying something that was like, and it's not that interesting. And like every single day I would go to class, right? And while I was being in class, I didn't really focus or listen to the teacher, because I was just like there like, alright, if I finish my CEGEP, what am I gonna do with a fucking art, letters, communication degree? I don't know. I had many talks with my dad talking about like, yo, I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm just wandering off in a vast ocean of wondering every day what the fuck I'm doing. And he was like, look, stop trying to find the perfect job. Stop trying to see yourself in the future that much. Just focus on where you see yourself in 3 months. And not gonna lie, that kind of helped me. I'm like, do I see myself in 3 months in school? No. And as much as I liked my experience there because of my friends, I couldn't anymore, man. I just felt like every day was a waste of time. And CEGEP is, bro. You have like one class and you have like 4 hours of break for some fucking reason, and then you have another class, and then there's a random ass class in the middle of the day, and it's like, can you just be like fucking high school? Like at first, I'm not gonna lie, CEGEP was like, yo, you could choose your fucking schedule, that shit is fire. It's not. It really isn't. Yeah, you have more freedom, but it's literally that freedom that made me question everything. Like, why would I go to class if teachers don't give a shit if I'm there or not? I could literally play Clash Royale in fucking class and they wouldn't give a single shit. That freedom that I had made me question even more what I was doing there. You would think that like freedom is good, and don't get me wrong, freedom is nice, but when you're in a place where people won't give a shit if you're there, you could be late like for an hour and they don't really give a shit, and you fail classes. Oh, I don't care. I won't call your parents. I won't do that. I won't do anything. It's like, then where is the motivation to do literally anything? You know? And that's where I was like, yeah, nah, I'm done. I'm just fucking done. Like I said, it was scary at first because, well, even though I had a plan, well, it doesn't mean that the school I, applied to are gonna accept me or anything. I'm just 17. By the time I go there, if they accept me, I'll be 18. But like, it's not guaranteed that I'll make into the school. So I'm like, that's why I, applied to 2 schools, but it doesn't mean that both of the schools are gonna accept you, you know what I mean? Yeah! No, it was scary because, like, I literally talked about it with my friend. I was hanging out with him. It was like, yo, why do you look so down? I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm not sad or anything. It's just that the realization that, well, first of all, the people that I saw every day are not going to be part of my daily life anymore. Like I said, I could still see them and everything, but it's like literally the only reason that kept me from to go to school was my friends and just seeing them and fucking around with them, and saying that those people that were part of your life for not that long, but you would see them basically every day, and from one day to another you're not going to see them as much, was like, damn. It made me realize how much I actually like them and how they gave me energy and happiness just by talking to them and being there with them. Yeah, I would switch to a place where I would always be with my friends to home for 6 months. And when I had that talk with my parents, I was like, well, I'll just find things to occupy myself. I have my channel, I have work, but the thing is, February, restaurants are fucking dead. So I have like 2 days of work per week, which is, well, ass. And they were like, yo, pick up a second job. I'm like, I don't know if it's really worth it because in 3 months I'll be 18 and I could, I'll be a waiter and I'll have more shifts. I'm like, yeah, it's not worth it. So then I was just left being here, trying to find things to occupy myself. Like, I have a fucking, since day fucking 1 of dropping out, I have this book in which I wrote things I wanted to do. Like, I could edit, going to the gym, work, fucking run, like cook at home, so I practice before going to school, take care of the house, read more, play guitar, and everything like that. I just wrote some stuff to actually motivate me to not literally just fucking do nothing the entire day I'm at home. And my dad, his word was like, you're a really social person, which I am, and if you're staying home for the big majority of your days or week, well, I feel like you're gonna be fucking depressed. And don't get me wrong, I kind of get him, I kind of understand his point, but at the same time, I was like, you know what, when I was at my friend's house, I literally told him, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to see like my friend as much as before, but it's gonna give me the opportunity to learn more about myself, work on myself, and just learning to be alone. And I feel like that's something everyone has to go through once in their life, because we're always distracted by, our phones, social media, going out with friends, and some distractions are good, some are not that much. What I realized is that we don't really spend that much time with ourselves, meaning that we don't spend time to think for ourselves, to really think, what are we going to do with our life? Like, why am I acting that way? How can I be a better person? Stuff like that. And being a teenager is the most important part of your fucking life, because that's where you have to kind of figure it out what you want to do. Where you spend it on things that don't matter and that just waste time. And it's like, how are we supposed to figure out the things that we want to do if literally 90% of the time we're always distracted by something? And we fear being alone with ourselves, because that just means we're gonna have to live with ourselves and have the thoughts that maybe you don't want to have, and thinking about stuff that you wouldn't normally think about because you don't give yourself the time to, reflect on things that you never really thought about before. And that's kind of scary, but like I said, eventually you're gonna have to do that one way or another. Everyone has to be alone once in their life to really just be comfortable with yourself. Like, if I ask you that question, when is the last time that you spent like an hour just being on your bed and thinking about your life? Thinking about things that, yourself, thinking about the questions you have? Probably a long ass fucking time. And yeah, now we're Wednesday and I dropped out Sunday, which means that Monday and yesterday I was kind of a state of like, okay, what am I doing? Plus, it didn't really help because, well, I couldn't film because my dad was working. I couldn't really, talk that loud or anything. But yeah, like I feel like when my dad was here, I was just like, I have to find things to occupy myself so I look, busy and shit like that, because well, I don't want to just fucking jerk off all day long and do nothing, you know what I mean? So Daddy says like, oh boy, you're not doing anything of your days, nah. So yeah, like as soon as I woke up yesterday and Monday, I was like, okay, I gotta do something. Yeah, I gotta find something. I fucking wrote in my fucking notebook, like, things that I want to do today. And yeah, there's like plenty of shit doing at our house, but like for 6 months there's not gonna be something to do every day at the house, like you can't clean the house every fucking day, you can't, so I was like, okay, my life right now basically sums up to waking up, eating breakfast, working on YouTube, going to the gym, and working twice a week. And I fucking hope that next week I'm gonna have more shifts, because god damn. But yeah, it was like, it's prime time. I have literally 6 months to do anything I want. Work more, make more money, learn about things that I don't know, like fucking, I know it sucks, but like taxes, fucking how to make money, how to, everything, learn how to play guitar, read more books, work on myself, and I don't want to spend the next 6 months doing absolutely nothing and just waiting around until school starts. As much as I like freedom, we all need a purpose, because if in 6 months I can't go to school because they didn't accept me, well, I'm kind of fucked, I'll figure something out. But it really proved to me that as much as everybody wants freedom, you still need something that motivates you every day, saying that in 6 months I'll go to the school. But if I didn't have that, I would do YouTube videos all day, edit all day, spend the entire day in front of my computer? No. So that's probably what's the most scary thing about dropping out, is that as much as I hated school, if I didn't have a plan, then what the fuck would I do? Like everyone around me was like, yo, I'm proud of you, you're doing something that you like and stuff like that. And people that ask me like, why you do culinary school, I was like, you know what? I looked at the fucking trade list of everything I could have done. Well, cooking is pretty fun, and I mean, we're gonna lie to each other, you're gonna have to eat for the fucking rest of your life, so might as well be good at it. That's what I told myself. Yeah, I mean, cooking is pretty cool. Am I gonna like it, working in a fucking stressful environment every day because people in a kitchen are sometimes asshole? I don't know if you guys watched The Bear, but if you did, god damn, that shit looks kind of rough, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, literally, I'm like, yo, I'm not really good at dealing with people that screams at me all day long and fucking shouts me order. I just want to fucking punch them in their mouth. I guess it'll make me learn how to be patient and, and another bunch of things. Like, I was literally talking to the same friend I was talking about. He was like, yo, you're so lucky of, dropping out of school. My parents will never let me, and I was like, yeah, I guess you could say I'm lucky because my parents let me drop out, because my dad literally said, if you feel like you're wasting your time there and you're not doing anything there, well, might as well drop out and do something more concrete, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, it is kind of scary, not really knowing what you're gonna do for the next 6 months. And even if I have a plan, like, things to do every day, eventually it'll get repetitive. As much as I hated school, well, telling myself that I had to wake up and go to that place every day gave me a purpose. Even though I didn't like it, I still had something to do. The more and more I went there, I was just like, yeah, no, I just might as well take the 2 years I'm gonna fucking jerk off there and do literally nothing of my life apart from having fun with my friends, and take it to do something serve me more than fucking learning about the history of fucking chairs, bro. Oh my god, yeah. And I did actually have a class about the history of chairs. It was kind of interesting for like 10 minutes, and then it was like, goddamn, alright, I have literally 6 months to work on myself, read more, work on my channel. Like something that my dad brought up, which was valid, he made a valid point, is if you stay home all day and only go to work and only go to the gym and working on your channel, which he thinks is like more of a pastime. I was like, I don't know, my channel is, I'm just starting, but it's like a work in progress, and I guess right now it's more of a hobby than anything, because, well, I'm not making money out of it, and I know it's gonna take me a lot of fucking time to, starting to make money out of YouTube, which isn't really the point. I just want to help people out, and if I can make money by helping people out, I would be fucking happy. But yeah, realistically, that shit will take years until I maybe blow up. What he said is like, yo, if you only do those things, how are you gonna get the material to talk about something on your channel? I was like, that's kind of facts, because most of my ideas comes from talking to people, talking to my friends at school and shit like that, I was like, yeah, I don't really know, I guess I'll figure it out. That's what I always told myself, I'll figure things out. I'll just keep moving forward, because the worst thing you can do is being stuck at the same place and doing absolutely nothing to chase your dreams or to not have a purpose. So that kind of sums up what I wanted to say about dropping out. If you ever have the idea of dropping out, the only thing I have to tell you is have a plan, because it'll also be really hard on your mental, because every day you'll wake up and you'll say, what now? You know what I mean? Dropping out is a big decision that I made. Now I just have to accept the consequences of my actions, and it's not necessarily a bad consequence. It's just something I have to figure it out. I have to deal with and find things that will actually serve me in that 6 months period of time. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna lie. I guess it just gives me more time to, do YouTube stuff. I'll start maybe even streaming, because, well, why the fuck not? Just really think about what you want to do before dropping out. That's it, Anyway, that's a wrap. Thank you for listening, and I guess we'll see each other on the next one. Hopefully it's not gonna be in a fucking week or 2 weeks.